Hey, today I want to talk to you about a room design called Board and Batten. It's a simple room design that you add to an existing blank wall that will give this wall some depth, will give it some character and a nice fancy look. It's a simple project. The toughest thing is the decisions you have to make. Some of your decisions you're going to have to make is you're going to have to plan this out ahead of time. You might want a full wall design. You might want a 3/4 wall design, as we have here. This gives us the ability to add a picture and maybe a simple little shelves to put some knickknacks, or maybe you want a half wall. Then you have to decide, what size wood do you want? Do I want a 1x4, maybe a 1x3, or maybe a 1x1, giving you the depth of your design. And then you have to design your pattern. What is the depth between each one and how they measure up with the wall? Then you have to plan out light switches and sockets. They may run into your design. My suggestion is put the design on paper, or maybe keep it in your head, but have a plan before you start cutting the wood. Cutting the wood and putting the wood on the wall is the easiest part. Planning it out is the toughest. We have ours already planned. We know what we're going to do. So we're going down to the shop. We're going to cut some wood and we're going to start putting it together. Once we have measured and cut the top rail, our next step will be to find the studs. There are many products out there to help you find these studs. Pick one and let's go to work. Let's find the stud. Once we find one stud, we know the rest of the studs are 16 on center, so then we can measure them off and make marks for all of our studs. Then we'll be ready to nail that top railing. We took our first piece of board. We've now measured and we've cut it, size. Now we want to find our height. How high do we want this? We have our mark. Get your leveled mark. Make sure it's level. You might be off in the ceiling. There's not a square corner in a house, but get it leveled, mark it so we have our studs, nail it in. Our next step will be to measure, cut our 2 corner pieces, and let's nail them in. Now that we have our square in place, we've got to decide, and this could have been done before, but how many pieces we're going to put vertically. So one of the choices you have to make, you have to decide how you're going to finish the bottom. You could take away the molding and put a block there, or you can leave the molding as we decided to, and then you can minor cut at a 45 the angle, and you have a choice of putting it this way, or you could go over it this way. Now, these are choices you have to make. It's all subjective. There's no right, there's no wrong. Pick one, choose it, and go with it. Now that we've cut our pieces, we're going to be ready to install them. So we're going to find our places. What I did is I cut jigs. We're going to go with 14 inches in between each one. So I'm going to be able to place my jig on my board and then glue and nail it. One of the reasons for the glue is just for extra reinforcements, because not every one of these boards is going to hit a stud. So we can't really nail it into something solid. Nailing it on the drywall isn't that good. With one of the vertical boards up, now we're able to just repeat that process. Very simple. Take our 2 jigs, line them up, check the level, nail it, and keep going right along the walls. Now that we've finished the one wall, we do the exact same thing on the other wall, and we're practically there, we're practically done. Now that we have all of our vertical pieces in, I want to put in a finished piece. So I cut an angle at the corner, and I'm going to put that in, check that out, looks good. We're going to throw some glue on here and then nail it. So our construction phase is done. Now what we want to do is some of the finish work. And with the finish work, we're gonna try to clean up the nail holes, and then we're also gonna caulk the cracks. Maybe the wall wasn't quite flat, maybe there's a little gap there, so we're gonna caulk that. We're gonna then sand it, fill the nail holes, and we're all done, ready for paint. So we're done. We put the room back together. We've got our board and batten in the background, adding a little accent, a little pizzazz. We added our picture. We've got little things, trinkets sitting on the shelf, added the credenza with the stuff on it. We're really happy with it. I hope this video helped you in your project. Thanks for watching. I'm Ken Deininger with another backyard project.